Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talking Housewives with D. I'm D, and today we're talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 10. Now, I was supposed to film this yesterday, but for some reason, it slipped my mind and I started working on another project. But I'm glad I waited to today because I woke up this morning and I found out that Jen Shah is being released from prison on December 10th. When's December 10th? Let's see. That is on a Wednesday. So that is 3 weeks from now. And she's been in there for like 2 years, which I think she should be in there for a lot longer. You guys should watch a documentary on her on Hulu. If you guys didn't know, me and my cousin, we did a recap of Potomac. It came out a couple of days ago, and that's the one I'm always talking about Housewives with. She is a Jen Shah fan. She thinks that she should be back on the show. Me personally, I do not. I think that, like, I was watching clips of season 1 and 2 when Jen was like at her worst, especially season 1. She was just terrible. The vibe that it was Salt Lake City had season 1, 2, and 3 is completely different than seasons 4, 5, 6. 1 through 3, like season 1, Jen is awful. Season 2, she's awful too. In season 3, she's even more awful, but not on a grand scale. And then, season 4, Monica came in. She completely, we need to give Monica her props because she made that season. Without Monica, I fear that there would be no Salt Lake City anymore. So Monica deserves a ton of credit. Season 5, when Bronwyn and Brittani came, incredible. Season 6, this is like one of the best seasons. Nothing will compare to season 2 when Jen Shah got arrested in a Sprinter van. But season 6 has been absolutely incredible. I love it. But actually, no, season 4 of Monica was good too. I don't know. It's just been all good. So I just don't see Jen coming back to this and it being the way that it is now. I just feel like it will be so dark with her on it. Now, sorry, we're going to get into the recap in a minute. I'm just telling my thoughts about Jen Shah. Okay, so I just don't... So Andy said that Jen will never come back, or he never wants to see Jen Shah on TV. Now, I don't believe anything that Andy says. I think that, unfortunately, she will come back. And I think it will change the course of the show. The ladies have already built this such great dynamic with each other. The show's doing so great. I just don't see how Jen fits into what Salt Lake City is having now because, they're so up there. This is one of the best housewife franchises. Salt Lake City is number 1. I just cannot see Jen coming in and just integrating herself in this group because the group is all the same with the exception of Bronwyn and Brittani. Everyone else is still there, but Bronwyn and Brittani bring such... You can hate Brittani all you want, whatever, but they bring such a good vibe to this show and keep it... I don't know, I just don't see Jen in this group. I don't see her in it anymore. Jen used to be the face of Salt Lake City. Now I think it's like Lisa Barlow and Heather. Honestly, Meredith, they're all. And Angie. Oh my God, I forget my sweet Angie K. I don't know. I just don't see Jen back in here. That's my opinion. These are my thoughts. And we will talk about this again sometime soon. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. I did not take notes like I did on a couple episodes before this. I'm just gonna go through the episode and just say my thoughts about everything. I'm sure you guys all already seen the episode. Like I said, I'm like 3 days late with this. So let's just get into it. So you guys all know what happened. Y'all remember what happened last episode. How could you forget, right? Meredith completely crashed out on the airplane, was harassing Brittani. So everyone feels bad for Brittani. They're like, I want to just come out. Whitney wants to throw a little party for Brittani. So everyone can come together so they can kind of talk about what happened and just show Brittani that they're all here for her. So Whitney She opens up broccoli in her house, by the way, and so now the house smells like shit, and everyone knows broccoli does smell like a really bad fart. It smells so gross. So everyone's like talking about the smell. But they all come in. It's like a little potluck. Everyone brings food and all that. And they're like, you know what? Let's do high body count hair. Because Brittani has high body count hair. So they all do their hair. They tease it up. So they all look a little crazy. And then Brittani comes. They like hide. Like they surprise her. Brittani comes. And honestly, Brittani's hair was looking kind of high body count. It looked a little bit messy when she came in. But she's all excited. She's happy. She's like crying in her confessional. And Bronwyn brought like a stuffed animal station so that they could all record their voice and put it in the stuffed animal, since she felt bad that she threw the unicorn overboard last episode. So they all, they sit down and all that, and Brittani listens to all the messages that the ladies recorded on their bears. Everyone's all like cute, like, Brittani, I love you, and all that, blah, whatever. Then it's Mary's turn, and Brittani presses the bear, and nothing comes out. And then Mary says, yeah, she has nothing to say to Brittani. And come to find out, while they were on the yacht, Brittani told Mary that she is the most ungodly person that she has ever met. That's when Mary told her, Brittani, like, you're not special, you're not cute. And so that's what Brittani said to her. You guys know that there's a documentary coming out. I know you already saw promos for it. A doc about Mary's cult. And we're going to get into that in a second when we get to the scenes of Mary's church. So Mary has nothing to say to Brittani. So Brittani's like, I love you too, Mary. So they start talking about what happened on the airplane. And Bronwyn says Meredith told her that she was venting to a friend, and she didn't think that Brittani could hear her because she had her headphones on. And Mary's like, yeah, that's what she said to me. And they're just like, we're not believing it. Like, Meredith took it too far. And then Heather says that Lisa is like fucking crazy or something. And so yeah, they talk about that. And then Whitney says, Bronwyn, I'm just going to bring it up. I see that you're not wearing your wedding ring. Is that on purpose? And then Bronwyn, she starts nodding her head like she always does. She does the Bronwyn nod. She's like, yeah. She talks about what happened with Todd on the airplane and looking at the women in lingerie or whatever. And she said that, we're taking some space apart. And we're going to talk about it. And then we're going to get into that scene in a minute, because I got some feelings about that. So yeah, she's basically telling them, like, they're having some marriage problems right now. And that she would be open for an arrangement of some sort, which we'll get into that, y'all. And then at the end, Brittany's like, if you divorce, could I have all your rings? Yeah. Anywho, so now we're at a scene where Mary and Robert Jr., they are looking at her church because she's going to be opening back up her church after being closed for 2 years for renovations. Did she have to be closed for 2 years for renovations? Probably not. I think something else happened, but, we'll never know. So Robert Jr. is in this scene, and unfortunately, he does look high. And later on in the episode, Mary says that Robert was going to come to the opening of the church with her, but she saw that he was high and said absolutely not. But he does look high in this scene. It's just so unfortunate, guys. He was arrested again for violating a restraining order from his girlfriend, wife, whoever she is. And I'm just like, oh, this poor kid. Like, I don't know. I just feel bad for anyone who struggles with addiction. And it's always like, they're a good kid too. And like, it's just like, damn, I wish I could help them. And they just, they never really get the help unless they really want it. And I don't know their situations. I'm just going to shut the fuck up right now. So we're done with that scene. Now it's Lisa and John, okay? Now, Lisa and John are talking, and I feel like this is the realest scene that Lisa has shown us, because we get to see the little cracks in their marriage. And to me, this just looks like a normal husband and wife conversation, which is so refreshing to see, because Lisa just always has this air about her that her life is so perfect. Remember, she lives a different life than everyone else. Her marriage is perfect. Her family's perfect. She's perfect. Like, she has everything. Nothing is wrong with her in her world, or nothing's wrong with her marriage, her family, and the best husband, whatever. So this scene, she is telling John that she kind of felt undermined because she was telling Henry something, and then John said, no, you shouldn't ask the question that way. You need to rephrase it better. And then Lisa says, like, you know, I don't know why you're doing this. Because to me, I felt like she was saying that he was undermining her, like, in front of their kids. And, you know, you're not supposed to do that in front of your kids. You know, you respect each other in front of your kids. If there's an issue, that if Lisa could have said it differently or said it a different way, maybe tell her that when Henry's not in the car. So, they get into it, and then John's like, you know, I was just trying to say it, you know, maybe you should reword it from a male perspective. And they're talking, Lisa's blinking rapidly, and they kind of get into it where John says that, Lisa says that she is a good listener, and John just straight up laughs, like, you're a good listener, and then he, like, pretends that he's on his phone, like, that's all that Lisa does. And Lisa says, you know, they only talk about work. Or it was John said they only talk about work. That's it. It's always work. And Lisa said, yeah, you know, we do talk about work. And this whole conversation is basically, you can kind of see that John is a little fed up with everything. And even though Lisa could be much, we do have to remember at the beginning of the season, she said that she feels very underappreciated at home. And I can totally see that happening. I can see how her kids and her husband just really don't give a fuck for what she does. And she kind of feels like the odd one out. I think that once Henry goes off to college or a mission, I think these two are done. They want, kind of like the Kyle and Mauricio thing, what that psychic said, like, soon as the kids are grown, that's it. I think this is them. I think their kids keep them together, and I think their business still keeps them together. I also think that John is kind of maybe fed up because the whole thing came out with Lisa possibly having, like, another boyfriend who gave her, like, the Amex card. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think these two are going to last. Lisa, in her confessional, she was crying about it. You know, how she just doesn't really feel heard. And I feel for Lisa. I really do, because I feel like there's something else going on where she has a strong personality, but I don't think at home she does within her family. I don't know. That's just me. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. I don't know. That's just what I'm getting. But this was a really nice conversation for the audience, not for them, for us to witness. Then we have this fucking scene with Jared and Brittani. I kind of like zoned out because this just reminded me of like teenagers. First of all, I don't know why Jared is wearing clothes that are so tight on him. He has a nice body. Say what you want, but I do think he's an attractive man. And I don't know why he's wearing skinny jeans and dunks and the skin tight polo shirt. Brittani looks great. Anyways, these two, they're talking. He's saying that she was flirting with guys on the boat trip, and then said that, oh, you're supposed to do a 30-day fast for me. How's that going? I don't know. This seems very like 16-year-old, and I can't believe these people are like in their 50s. It was a hard watch. It was kind of cringy, if I'm just being honest here. And I just can't believe that these are adults. And then the crazy part about this was, like, they go down to like this little rocky, dirty area, and like Brittany's wearing like these 6-inch platform heels, and she's like struggling to go down and then like struggling to go up, and it's just very awkward. And I don't know, guys. I used to think that Brittani, remember I tell you that I thought she was putting on like this whole ditzy act. I keep going back and forth with it, but I really don't think that it's an act. I really do think that she's emotionally stunted. And it could have to do from, I know she was in like an abusive relationship before, like abusive marriage. It could be from that, it could be from growing up. She just seems just so stunted. Like she has the mind of a 16-year-old, which is very clear with this conversation slash fight slash whatever with Jared. And we're gonna move on from that. So now we have Todd and Bronwyn. They're talking, and Todd, he's already giving me bad vibes. Bronwyn comes in. Todd's like, "You didn't lock the door." She's like, "No, I did." And Bronwyn makes herself so small around Todd. Have you guys noticed that? She hunches her shoulders, her neck goes down. She turns very small, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So they start talking. Todd couldn't be least interested in this shit. He is on his phone. You can tell he did not want to film the scene. You can tell he doesn't want to be on camera. You can tell that he regrets ever letting her sign up for this fucking show. Because now everyone knows him as the guy who cheats on his wife on an iPad, who farts while making out, and who looks at pictures of women while he's on an airplane, and steals his wife's cherry on her Sunday. That right there is the biggest one. It just shows that he does not give a fuck about this woman. So they're talking, and Bronwyn just says that, okay, let's just sum it up. She says that she talked about their sex life to a friend, and he's pissed off because, like, why would you do that? Why would you talk about this on camera? And then she's like, I just feel like I could talk to a girlfriend, about this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, well, you didn't have to do that, Bronwyn, but okay, thank you. It's good for the show that she did this. And again, Todd's face, he's just like, oh, God, I hate this. I think I probably hate you right now. Honestly, I think Bronwyn hates Todd too. I think they probably hate each other. And Bronwyn says that, if you wanted to have an arrangement and, we could think of something like that, Todd is like, oh, whatever. Like, he's not trying to hear it. And that's what it is. Todd is uninterested. He doesn't want to have this conversation. You could tell he's being forced to be on camera. Bronwyn is trying to have this conversation for whatever reason. I guess she's trying to put this out here so she won't be embarrassed again when he fucks up and cheats on her again, because apparently that's just what he does. But like, who's oh God, I feel so awful saying this, but like, who's fucking Todd? Who's doing it? Who's the culprit? Because he does look like he farts while being intimate, making out, and otherwise. And I just don't know who's doing it. Who's taking one for the team here to get their bills paid? I don't know. Yeah. I got a really good Starbucks drink this morning, you guys. It's so good. I needed it. It was a treat to myself, You guys want to know what it is? I'll just tell you. You should try it. Okay. And it's going to be cheaper for you if you get it this way, too. So you're going to get an iced doppio, okay? And I get a half decaf because I'm still doing the whole kidney stone thing. And you're going to get it in a venti cup of extra ice. You're going to get extra splash of oat milk, a pump of white mocha sauce, 3 brown sugar pumps, and you're going to get vanilla, sweet cream, cold foam. It's going to be about $5. If you have points, knock off $1. It's going to be $4. It's better than it being like $7 to $8 if you get a regular latte. Just letting you guys know, it's really good. Definitely try it, okay? Remember, iced doppio in a venti cup, extra ice, 3 brown sugar, 1 white mocha, splash of oat milk, vanilla, sweet cream, cold foam. All right, you're welcome. So now we're moving on. We're at Mary's church now. This is when Mary says that Robert Jr. was going to come with her, and she knows that he was high, so she said, no, you're not coming. The ladies meet up at the church. It's Heather and Whitney. They're driving there, and then Whitney's like, oh, I'm surprised that I'm back in. I'm invited, because remember, like, season 2, when they were trying to take down Mary, She said that Mary's church is a cult, and they did like this whole like investigative thing on Mary's church, and they did it with Jenny. Remember that racist fucking bitch Jenny? They did it with Jenny, but she was so racist that they had to cut out the scene, so they never really did to get to go in on Mary's church. So, yeah. So yeah, Whitney and Heather get there, and then Bronwyn comes. This is Bronwyn's first time at any type of church like this, and then Angie comes, and then I love this because Angie like knew everybody at the church. Like she was like giving them hugs and everything. I'm like, oh my god, her and Mary are real friends because they have not shown this church on TV since like what, season 1. So like the fact that Angie knows Mary's like people, I'm like, oh my god, they really are friends, and that just warmed my heart because I love them together. So yeah, so they're all talking. They're like, oh my god, is Meredith and Lisa gonna come? Like, we don't know. And then here comes Meredith and Lisa. They look fantastic, right? They come in church appropriate. Meredith has a boot on her foot because of her toe. So they all come and sit down, and Mary starts her sermon, and this reminded me of back when I was a kid. My grandma used to make me go to church with her, and I used to hate going to church, you guys. I went to 2 churches, my dad's side and my mom's side. On my dad's side, my grandma, she made me go to this church, and I used to hate it. I had to go to Sunday school. I hated it. The church would always go on for hours. Like, it was supposed to end at what, like 1? It would go on to like 2, because someone would catch the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost, and it would be all that. And then on my mom's side, I went to a church that was like, I think it's a cult. My family still goes there. I think, like, you want to call Mary's church a cult, I think this is a cult. I won't like really get into it, but I used to have to go there almost every Sunday. If I wasn't with my dad's side of the family, I was with my mom's side of the family. I had to go there every single Sunday and sit for 2 hours. And I hated it. I had to do it until I was 18. I'm so pissed off that my brother didn't have to do it, because after I stopped going, they just completely like, my mom stopped going. My grandparents still go, but my mom stopped going, so my brother never had to experience that until he was 18. But I had to go until I was 18, sit there, and it was awful. I would rather go to the church with the praise dancing and stuff than go sit at this. Anyways, I say all that to say that I know how these churches work. I've been to church before. I'm not super religious. I am a spiritual person, not religious, but I do appreciate why people go to church, and everyone has to have something, and whatever it is that you want to go to, whatever church, that's completely, on them. I support it. So when I see people calling Mary's church a cult in like these, like in Reddit comments and everything, and on just everywhere, and this whole documentary, it's like, okay, so why aren't y'all doing these documentaries on like every church? Because you'll see, and the one thing I don't like, I hate to even like get into this, but I never liked this, where these big old mega churches, like like Righteous Gemstone, okay, these big old mega churches, these pastors and stuff, they pull up in a Bentley, a Rolls Royce, whatever, these expensive cars, and like the people giving them money can barely afford rent. That never sat right with me. Never ever sat right. And that's kind of what Mary is doing. Like, she shows up with a Birkin in her expensive car, and then like, her people in church can they afford groceries? I don't know. It's a whole big thing. So I'm not gonna get into it, but I do appreciate that they were all at this church supporting Mary, opening it. And Mary is talking to, she's praising God, giving the word. She is telling everybody that she goes one by one. She goes like, Angie, Meredith, Bronwyn, whatever. Like, she tells them, like, good things. And it was like they got emotional. And I actually got emotional too, even though I'm not super religious or anything. I really felt like it was coming deep from within Mary. I think Mary is a good person. I feel like she had a lot of trauma in her life, and I think she truly does care about these women. I really do. Um, and I sincerely believe that she does. So I think everything she said to them, it really was coming from the heart. I think that's why I got emotional. But yeah. And they end the service with them all hugging, and just praying. And I enjoyed this episode. I know I spent a lot of it talking about Jen Shaw and Mary's church, and religion, but those are just my opinions. That's just how I feel about everything. So yeah, let's rate the episode. I'm gonna go ahead and give this episode an 8. I liked it. Andy said this was going to be the best episode of Housewives history at BravoCon. It's not. The best episode this season was just a couple episodes when they got on the boat for the first time. That was the best episode of the season. The best episode of the entire franchise was when Jen Shaw got arrested and the FBI came to the Beauty Lab in Laser parking lot. That was the best episode. But yeah, this was a really good episode. I give it an 8. It was nice. It was nice. We didn't have a lot of scenes, but it was scenes that we really got to see into these women's lives, and yeah, I really liked it. So that is it. I hope I summed it up pretty well. Like I said, I spent a lot of time talking about different things, but yeah, like and subscribe if you want more, if you like this video. I think I want to do a recap of the entire Orange County season and about how fucking awful it was and what needs to happen next season. But I feel like I complain about Orange County all the time, and I probably will make the video. I don't know. But that being said, thank you so much for listening to me yap about this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.